So, it's been a pretty quiet week in football, hasn't it?
Yeah, relatively.
With the ESL shenanigans, we've had plenty of quality content and quality memes and just events surrounding it, so...
It was literally like that, there was like a week and every single day, like just checking Twitter was incredible. Like, we haven't had anything like that since the Drip Doctor. There's been nothing like it.
Yeah, literally from like the 19th to the 22nd, it was just like every time you refresh, like another CEO's been fired or Florentino Perez has fallen out with another executive.
I'm just going to show on my screen what I can see because I can only see like the top of your head and it really like accentuates the beard and I'm really not sure what I think of it. Like it's so thick underneath and then it just like...
Yeah, great big
bushy beard.
But it's not quite so great and big or bushy. No. A quite small puby beard. I've tried to gather some of the best memes and moments from the whole ESL nonsense and I've tried to put them in some sort of chronological order, starting with when it was first announced, then going down to the swift dissolving of the whole thing.
You've got some really big British clubs and Tottenham as well.
Yeah,
it was just the fact that us two were in there. Like, what are we doing there?
What have we done to qualify for this? Most of these are bashing Arsenal and Spurs, and quite rightly, to be honest.
No, I'm just trying to remember what happened. So they just announced that the Super League was going to happen, didn't they? So basically, it was PSG and Bayern that weren't involved, and all the other big clubs were. And this guy tweeted, PSG saving football is like the moment in the Deathly Hallows when you realise Snape was actually the good guy. Jose Mourinho was the first and only manager ever to be sacked by a Super League.
Yeah, literally, like, was this the same night or the day after it got announced? Absolutely outstanding deflection tactics from Levy here. Oh, we've got some bad PR with the ESL stuff. Let's sack Jose Mourinho.
Just sweep that under the rug. I've just clicked on the next tweet, which says Spencer saying about really hoping a big name player from one of the Super League clubs comes out in opposition to it. Remember we had sports personalities like Muhammad Ali who stood for something. At the time I read this and I was like, you know, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali was fighting against racism, not of new football.
I know, it's slightly different stakes, isn't it? To be fair though, I do agree with Spencer in that like players do have power and do have voices. With like Milner and Bamford speaking out, I don't know how much of an impact it had, but it probably had some sort of impact, but it's just very different stakes.
I just saw one saying, imagine Jake Paul winning a boxing match and it still not being the worst sports news of the day. And then wait, I'll send you this one. This whole day was just amazing. I loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the best thing as well. We announced that we were joining the Super League on the same day as we drew to Fulham with a 97th minute equaliser. Like, just, you couldn't have written it.
If this happened, Arsenal would just end up as, like, the Norwich of the Super League. Like, we'd be a yo-yo club, but we wouldn't have the sweet release of relegation.
Sorry, I've just seen on the side of Twitter, it says, gaze in awe at Longboy, a very tall duck that lives on the campus at the University of York.
You know what, scrap this video.
I'm gonna have to click on that. It's not disappointing.
Oh, that is a very long boy. Wow, that is a duck.
That boy is long. Alright, sorry. Back to your memes.
The next one's just a funny. I just quite liked it. The more I look at it, it's just turning to tears.
I think the best thing about that is Nepenthes misspelling genuinely. Genuinely love it if we beat them. Basically, it was just like throughout the whole day, any tweet you did just banged about 10 times more than normal tweets. Like my biggest one, I think, was Gunnosaurus being put down whilst his club negotiated a 3.5 billion paycheck as the moment football died for me.
Unbelievable. Easy top three. Easy top three. If I'm not 16!
Incredible Nepenthes clip.
I just love the idea that these people have got a Nepenthes clip saved in their phones, like for these exact moments. Like they must, like, where do they keep them?
The special folder.
Oh, and then also this one.
Hey, look at us.
Look at us.
Huh?
Who would have thought?
Not me.
I've not seen that one. Oh, that's funny.
Oh, it was one about Eric Dyer. Yep.
Yeah, it was a parody, or it was like some fake journalism, but someone said that Schalke had been invited to the Super League, and just like that, any credibility it might have had is gone with the introduction of Skodran Mustafi.
He's a World Cup winner, so I'd be careful where you drag his name. I saw this at the time. I showed this one to Shannon, I thought that was funny. I love football Twitter so much. Football Twitter was so perfect this day, it was amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. I I don't think it got shared around too much, but what an incredible headline.
The idea of Prince Philip turning in his grave due to the Super League.
I think we're moving on to the Perez interview and what came from that.
I just read the one about, the Cristiano and Hazard. Yeah, like, that man quickly became, I don't know, Donald Trump of football in like a day. It was outrageous, like, some of the stuff he was saying.
I love this format. The problems have come about because of reckless spending. They're just buying players they can't afford and then saying that they're too poor.
I mean, I'd pay 115 million euros to see Hazard's arse in training every day. Like, I don't think you can really blame him for that.
That cake just good for squad morale. What's next?
Why did you see this one?
This one's probably my favourite, or one of my favourites from the entire thing.
Just the idea of them having a captain's meeting, Aubameyang turning up like an hour late and then just breakdancing is incredible.
It's just like the wording of this is just so perfect. You can just hear those words coming out of Jordan's mouth as he tries to rally like 20 people in this Zoom call, and there's just Aubameyang who's just streaming or something with his brother at the time.
Surely we're at the point now when it started to turn.
Yeah, I think this is when the club started pulling out. So,
because it's Chelsea-Brighton, wasn't it? And there was that protest outside, and like Thogdad and Thogden and Rory were all there. And Petr Cech went out and got shouted at by the fans.
Yeah, when Petr Cech became a traffic warden for the day.
Hang on, let me tell you this. Yeah, so you had all the Chelsea fans outside protesting, and I think whilst they were out there, it got announced that Chelsea were leaving.
ESL! 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 ESL!
The hero we don't deserve.
Thogdad is such a hero.
Being told to suck one's mum by their own son does things to a man.
Oh my god. Sorry, I just clicked on the next one. I saw this get tweeted. The Gary Neville gives passionate.
Yeah, I know it's not a PG. I was debating whether to put it in, but it's just incredible, so I had to. Yeah, so this is after everything's happened now.
Yeah, so I was on a train back from the shoot with a footballer when all this got announced that Chelsea were leaving and stuff. So like, I was sat on a train cutting out Perez's face to put on Gerrard slipping in front of Demba Ba. I could see it in my head, and I was like, I simply have to spend the next half an hour using this Photoshop spin-off app on my phone, and it got 35k likes, so we take those. I saw a tweet from Spencer because it said the 12 Super League clubs are currently in the Zoom call, and Spencer put the Zoom call was delayed because Perez tried to get them to do it on Bebo because his research suggested that's where 60 to 24-year-olds hang out. So Liverpool all released this thing saying like, the Super League, we don't like it and we don't want it to happen, this is our collective position. Paddy Power just took the image of that and captioned it, Brighton strikers and scoring goals.
You do have to kind of feel for them. Like, the way they play, they have been so much better than where they deserve to be.
Yeah, I think they're, by a league table of expected goals, they're like 4th. Right, this was such an underrated tweet. No one else retweeted this, but I thought it was hilarious.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Just let it die, man. Just put it down. Yeah, so now it's like all dead, but the protests were happening, so this was just... Does anything say Spursy like this?
The fact that it's actually Spurs fans.
Yeah, so Arsenal happened a day after, I think.
Yeah, we had a match after, and then we all protested as well. I say we. I was sat at home.
We had some good banners. I think this was the best one though.
Yeah. It's just the photo of the man.
Yeah, it's the photo in the corner for me. Oh, this one. Okay, so it's a bit of a mouthful, but there's just one thing that I hadn't realised that this made me think, wow. Is there anything in there that stands out to you?
I don't know. Go on.
It's that first line of the of his second tweet. He tried to copyright the word Liverpool.
I have never heard of that before.
I didn't know this until now. Like, this man tried to copyright the name of an entire city, one of the biggest cities in England.
Really?
Apparently, that's why I've included this, because I didn't know this until that. Like, that's incredible. Does he think that Liverpool's just the name of the team? Does he not realise it's the city?
Oh, actually, I was going to quickly go on Reddit. Hang on, because the Arsenal Reddit was actually really funny.
Yeah.
Done that bombshell?
That's funny.
I think that's pretty much it from an incredible week of content.
Yeah, what a week of football though. Like, yeah, literally like a year's worth of content in like a couple of days.
Yeah, it was such a roller coaster.
Yeah, because like at the end of the day, like there's not really too much we could do if they did go ahead with it.
No, not at all,
like,
not at all.
The only thing we can do is complain, and I guess that would have had an impact on like the broadcasters not wanting to have any of the rights, because I know Disney said that they weren't going to get any Super League rights if it happened because of PR. So I guess that is something that we did. And
yeah. I think it was just like throughout this period, it was just the worry that like all of the football that we've grown up with, like these big tournaments and like the point of why you dream about football, it was all just going to get lost in this
Yeah.
Super League that no one could qualify really for and no one could get relegated from. It's just the big clubs earning more money and getting more powerful. It was just the worst idea you could possibly think of.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for joining me, Chris, and recounting the events of the last week.
No worries. Being paid to scroll through Twitter is not a bad... Wait, you are paying me, right?